But I'm not going to take your, opinions. My mom's opinion counts. She raised me. She's brought me to this level, and that's how come you want to be with me, right?
Sure.
So she's going to continually be the mother in his life, and you won't find that funny because you want to have your relationship with your husband, and so on and so forth. And so there's going to be so many other women. This colleague at work, she's down to earth, genuinely innocently looking out for your husband at work because he's too busy with work to eat. You've packed lunch for him, the lunch is just sitting there. She'll be going, bros, go and eat now. And that's all she is really. She's just being a nice, gentle soul. However,
things turn around.
Your husband likes that. He's now comfortable with her, and so she's sort of a confidant for him. She's the other woman in your life, so you're going to continue cursing and swearing at her. She's innocently,
meanwhile the colleague is just trying to assist her,
innocently helping you to keep a healthy husband, because if he falls ill, you'll be
the one to take care of that.
Suffer for it. So she's helping you to keep him, healthy, but
to keep him stable.
You will hate him because he's talking about Rekia did this, Rekia did that, Rekia reminded me about lunch, Rekia. And you're thinking, oh my god,
who is this Rekia? I'll have to report Rekia to Almighty Allah.
Do you understand? So you're so true. This time we should be focusing on important things. You're reporting Rekia, and Rekia is scoring more points because she's just being a brother's keeper, helping her brother in need, subhanallah. So, who is the other woman in your life, Nafisa?
Well, I'm still single. But I can say the other woman in my life is, let me say, Radia.
Okay.
Not in a very bad aspect, but in a good way, because even at times when we at work, we are writing scripts, putting on things together, and it's time for salat, I don't check my time. Nafisa, drop it. It's time to pray. Let's go for salah. So she actually does that.
Yeah, and that's really how we should. Would you like to introduce our co-host today, joining us? All right. So when she's ready,
she'll join us.
She'll join us. Okay then. So who are you listening to us right now? Who is the other woman in your life that has been tormenting you? What is it that you think she's doing to torment? Let's talk about it. Let's x-ray this and let's make a headway, sort of. So me telling you now to start to see this other woman in a positive light. That's what we're going to be doing, trying to rewrite a lot of wrongs, change a lot of mindsets. Because a lot of times we don't even give opportunity to this other woman to air her view. We don't even give her the room.
We have the bad feelings against the other woman.
We've slaughtered her. We've sent her to the guillotine even before we hear from her. She's even probably, this Rekia is married with kids. She's older than your husband, so she's just being a big sister to him at work. You're not even ever going to give her a chance to talk. You're never going to give her the opportunity to explain herself. You don't even want to meet her because she's just this Jezebel in your life, ruining your marriage. So take chill pills. The other woman could actually be your lifesaver. So start to look at this other woman as your partner in progress. This other woman is, I know you want me to say something, and I'm not going to say it yet because there are loads of topics ahead, inshallah, that will be addressing this polygyny and your co-wife as the other woman in your husband's life, and inshallah we'll try to do a lot of justice to this. We'll be talking from experience more than it's not a textbook thing. It's not about how you feel. Incidentally, polygyny has been so abused many years back. In fact, now that I'm talking about it with my full chest, it wouldn't have been the case 10 years ago. It was an abhorred topic. It's a taboo. It's the white elephant. It's the elephant in the room. It's the thing that is sweeping out the carpet. It's something you shouldn't find being discussed by elite people. It's for the archaic people. It's for the old. It's something in the olden days that should have been dead and all that. And why was that the case? It was because of the people that practiced it. The practitioners at the time rarely didn't do it right. They didn't do justice. So I usually tell people, it's not about polygyny, monogamy, whatever. It's not about the institution. It's the people behind the institution. They're the ones that make it work or fail. And so today, the other woman is not that second, third, or fourth wife. No, not for today. The other woman, as of today, is a sister-in-law, mother-in-law, colleague at work. your husband's high school friend. Subhanallah, you know how innocent children grow up together. They've been best of friends, no strings attached, no illicit relationship whatsoever. Their parents silently pray that they get married, but these two have come to the realization that they can never be compatible as husband and wife, but they're just happy
brothers and sisters.
being brothers and sisters. Exactly. And so they've grown like that for years. They've clicked 30 years together. How do you undo such relationship just because you are not married to him? Come on. She has contributed to the gentleman that he is today because she has exposed
to the growth of your own husband.
Yeah, so she's been a part of his life for 30 years, his adult life. How do you want to undo that just because now you wear the label Mrs. Whatever? Give the other woman a chance, and in your interest, work with the other woman for your progress, for your own peace of mind, really. I'll take a break now, play you a lovely nasheed. When we come back, I have more for you on the other woman. Stay with us.
In this world, and there's nobody to cut your teeth. Just remember, no matter where you are, only carrying the monster, and you wonder how far you can go. With every step on that road that you take alone. No matter what inside my mind, there's one thing of which there's no doubt. And whatever lies in the universe, every star in this whole universe
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Lights Radio. You can follow us on our social media handle: Facebook, The Lights Radio; YouTube, Lights Radio; Twitter, The Lights Radio; Instagram, Lights_radio. And you can write to us on our Gmail at official.lightradio@gmail.com. You can also call us on 0809 32 400.
I like to call it in a certain way, and so it's 0809 732 4000. It's very easy to remember in that order. So it's 0809 732 4000. Alternatively, you can reach us on 0809
738 4000.
Just remember 009 and 4000. Then 3 middle numbers, 732 or 738. Either of the two will get through to us, inshallah ta'ala. And you can be a part of the show. Tell us this other woman that has been tormenting you, and let's x-ray it. Perhaps will help you find the positivity in that relationship.
Actually, is this program just for sisters, or can men actually contribute? Because some men can contribute on behalf of their wife to tell
contribute to
the other woman that their wife keeps thinking she's trying to take over her home.
Exactly. So by all means, guys, please call in. Tell us how your wife has tormented you over your relationship with a colleague at work, and we can help her find the balance, help her see the good side of that relationship, and help her understand and conceptualize these relationships. So
just to make her understand who that other woman is.
Yes, that's really what we want to do. So it's about changing the narratives. All that we've known about this other woman has been negativities, but there's so much goodness in the other woman, because you, my sister, are the other woman in somebody else's lives. Still speaking about sister-in-law, brother-in-law, mother-in-law, colleague at work. So I was talking about the high school pals from way back. They've grown up together. Excuse me. They lived in the same community. Primary school, nursery school, secondary school, university. They were together all through.
Okay.
They didn't date for a single day. There are a lot of witnesses to that effect. You knew before you got married to him that there was this person. You've known her by name. You've even met her once or twice, but you didn't take it to heart because you felt everything will change once you get married. Now, one key thing, you see, another big mistake that we all make. Oh, he'll change when we get married, or everything will change when we get married. Hello. How do you, like I asked you, how do you undo a 30-year relationship?
Actually, it can be done. You can't say because you know Mrs. Salaudin or Mrs. Ajala, you want to undo the relationship
everything that has come before you.
You want to separate. You want to separate the friend, the person that has been there for your husband right from childhood.
Yeah.
You want to split the childhood friend. It's not possible.
This person helped him sometimes when he was stranded, school fees wise, or even broke. When he's broke, no lunch, no dinner, no breakfast. She's helped out because her pocket money could, serve both of them, and she's been there, and he takes that to heart. He's appreciative of that, and he's, you don't refund such monies.
No. Such money is not refundable. Non-refundable.
Sometimes you think, how much self did she sponsor you with? She's paid your school fees. How much? I will pay everything. Benny, auntie, calm down.
Even if you want to refund such money, what about the kindness, the eagerness, at that moment when your husband needed it?
The physical.
We're not talking about the physical money, but the emotion attached to that money.
Indeed.
So you can't refund such. It's non-refundable.
Abdul, sister, be chilling out. Take chill pills. So let's rationalize this relationships. Let's see the sense in it. We'll talk about contemporary issues. We'll look at events going on around us, at the workplace, on the streets, just generally, and try to make sense of it. Just because we are Muslims, we'll also try to reconnect with our Quran and the Sunnah as much as possible, so that whatever reactions you see out there, it shouldn't just be out of whims and caprices.
Sure.
We are Muslims first and foremost, and we must always.
And before we react, we should have to think.
We have to, and that justifies. So when you act or react, there's a backing for it. Everybody, they can trace Islam in you. Let's stop being lip Muslims. Let's stop paying lip service to our Islam. Let's be more Muslims in our actions, in our outward look,
our day-to-day activities.
Everything. Let's incorporate this. We are not secularists. We are Muslims, and so let's bear that.
And us being Muslims, it should be very obvious in our day-to-day activities, our going in and coming out.
Yeah. Because
you can dress decent, you can dress moderately, but your character, your attitude towards other people, not even people of the same religion like you, indeed, your character is very, very bad. It's not recommendable. Not to talk of other religions. They'll be like, oh, that's what they do, because of recent people tends to tag your religion and personality together, which they are two different things.
And so the earlier you know that you are a disservice to Islam because of how you are perceived, then the better for us. Let's try to be better Muslims, because we are those that follow the Sunnah. We are those that obey the injunctions and laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's what we will try to be doing. So how have you been in terms of being the other woman in that person's life? So let me talk about the sister-in-law. And subhanallah, oh God, I have so much to say. I used to say jokingly that subhanallah, on the day of judgment, the way Allah will judge in-laws, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Most marriages that have broken down, the roles in-laws played, from father-in-law, mother-in-law, sister-in-law,
brother-in-law,
the roles they played, subhanallah, so start to x-ray yourself. How are you with your brother's wife? The irony of it is sometimes we women are our own problems, right?
Sure. It's not even sometimes. We women are our own problem. It's not sometimes.
This woman wants to be one with her husband. You want to be one with your husband. However, you are nosing into your brother's relationship, seeing his woman as too controlling, too demanding, too this and too that.
That's me.
Yeah, can you imagine? Madami, kato bi won ni want to, and lo biyawo mi. Jordan biyawo mi. Akilo de go no, o ti gbe nkan fun oje. Won na lo gbe nkan fun ko eje.
And that's how it's supposed to be, because the husband has to seek advice from my wife.
So why do you have a headache when his one account with his wife? Why do you have a headache? Why are you pained when he tells you, oh, I need to run this by my wife? Do you mind I give you an answer later in the night? Do you mind I give you an answer tomorrow? And you flare up. How dare him? How dare she? You have to go and ask her, woman rapper. You would want your husband to have that relationship with you, but there you are standing in the way of this. You can be caring. You might see some tell signs that this woman is going to use up the power. She's actually using your brother. She's this, she's that. Legit, there are cases like that. A few are far in between. But think about it. Those things you're complaining about that she's doing to her husband, isn't that what you love to do with your husband? Isn't that how you'd love your husband to treat you? Isn't that so? Put yourself in her shoes and take a pause, step back, think deeply. Isn't this what you wanted all the while? Isn't this how you want your home to be?
Actually, some sister-in-laws want to take control of the brother's home while they don't even have a say in their own marriage.
So you see, that's the problem. So it's not even a problem. That's what's happening. They need to purge that anger.
She left her own luggage to start poking into another person's luggage.
So she's not just poking her nose. Think about it. It hurts her that she's not having what she wants. So your basokweti. No, it's not that one. Basokweti technical bad that technical. That's not. No. It's actually kodafumi or no. Like,
and it's supposed to be like that.
We can see we're going to take pass. Me, I know they happy for my own house. So you want come they happy. Where you from? Come. Who you be? So
and she's supposed to try to manage and solve the issue in her own marriage, not by disrupting a brother's marriage.
But how about she actually takes this other woman as her co-confidant, as her partner?
That's true.
How about she learns from her what qualities she's displaying at home that is making her husband
more peaceful?
What is it that she's doing? Perhaps she would be able to imbibe some of those qualities and apply in her home and have a sweet home as well. Let's start to think more critically. Don't make those sister-in-laws your enemies simply because what works in one home doesn't have to work
in another, because our fingers are not equal. Our fingers are not equal. Even twins that are born on the same day, they don't have the same quality. They tend to earn more. They tend to be more successful than one another.
Absolutely. So that's how Allah has decreed it. So still on the sister-in-law bit, your bani ikamo right? To transfer aggression so what you're doing that is hurting your husband, your brother's wife. Those things that you're doing. But sometimes your brother comes to you to ask you a question or to tell you what happened to him at home, and that you just did similar things to your own husband. But you're going to go, how dare and then you go into the home
and start creating havoc, start fighting her in her own matrimonial home. You left your home to come to your brother's wife home to start creating havoc, start fighting her. It doesn't speak well.
So just on that one, what you've done, you haven't even listened to her own side of the story.
Meanwhile, your brother might be the one at fault.
Absolutely. And you know how these things are. You know how we women are very intuitive, and how we see things beyond the ordinary. We hear the things that are not being said. That's
why they said women are cunning.
But we're not cunning. So we are just very holistic, isn't it? We see the whole picture. So sister, they calm down. So sometimes let's hear people out. Let's listen with the intention of understanding the person's viewpoint, as opposed to a lot of times we listen to respond.
Sure.
So you're not even listening to what has happened to get the correct account. No, let's see, and we need to start to change that. So please give love a chance, give room for this other woman to thrive, because you, my sister, are also somebody else's nightmare. You're the other woman in somebody else's life. You are the colleague at work that he's talking about at home and is giving his wife sleepless nights, and you are just acting innocently. You don't even know that
the innocent act you're doing to someone's husband is causing a real problem in his home.
You cook, you've packed your husband's lunch and you cook extra for this guy at work that you feel even ìyàwó lele tí ó tẹ̀lé sóúnjẹ fọ́kọ ẹ̀ lájú nǹkan tí ó ń lọ ní tàǹsì tàmọ́ bó ṣe ń lọ. If you cook from home, it's obviously going to be cheaper than
buying outside. Even food outside nowadays are very, very delicate to eat.
Yes, because people are just commercial inclined, right? So just cooking for the money. They're not thinking of the health of the person. So you, the nice sister, cooks extra. So when you're cooking in the morning to pack lunch for your husband, you're cooking for 3. Because the food you are taking to the office incorporates this your brother at work. And so she gets to know, and she's livid. My husband is
not listening to my whole again at home.
And incidentally, my husband has never even thought about it negatively. He had never seen any danger or harm in it, because he knows she's happily married. A lot of times her husband picks her from work, her husband knows you even hang out sometimes with her husband, so it's legit, clean, pure relationship. But she doesn't know. She's in the dark. Sometimes it would help you brothers, if you're listening, sometimes it would help for you and not all. Sometimes you don't give room for that suspicion. Those coded things that you do. But you repeat any bad man look bunja fun mate man bunja wa lójoojúmọ́. Lay it all bare. Don't think tiba so fun sin. If you lay it all out there, it might help. It might even then kilo ma cost bóyá ká tiẹ̀ mú owó ká tiẹ̀ fún woman position jẹ ká kú sọ di.
At least if your wife gets to know that someone is helping her out, you should feel like, yes, at least someone is helping me to take care of my husband behind me.
Sorry, I'm saying it to I've been told someone, how can you sit down? I don't like the kitchen. I cook out of necessity, right? I don't starve my family. I have Oloko but it's not I don't love to cook. Do you understand? So let's make that clear. So back to this case. Timo like opportunity for.
She be like, thank you. You said what?
Tí ma di kúrò dání lọ fọ́kàn gbá mi gbá ẹ bá mi gba ilé wa ẹ fún mi nọ́mbà ẹ kémi gan ṣe máa bá sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ weekend gan ni máa lọ kó.
So even from there you can become friends with her, then your mind will be settled.
I will become friends nígbà tí mo àtúpè wá sílé bá mi ṣe jollof rice sí ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì ọmọ ilé ìdẹ̀ sínú freezer. Make this other woman work for you. It will give you peace of mind. Apart from not liking to cook, me hate shopping be. Send me to market. Just entering that market. My green tibere. Talk less of one, do not do that.
Today I have seen someone that said she doesn't like going to market. She doesn't like shopping.
I don't like even the shopping mall shopping. I detest it. Any shopping whatsoever. So guys,
surprise as shopping.
Wàhálà ti dé bá mi.
Bẹ̀rẹ̀ bá máa ń ní obìnrin ló máa ń fẹ́ lọ tó bá ti ní shopping yàrá ìyàrá máa yá ni.
Mo ti sick, just the thought of it gan mo ti sick. Bá ṣe sọ gan mo ti sick. Ẹ̀fọ́ yìí ti dé bá mi. So this is me, this is who I am. So she loves shopping, she's always every weekend bó lẹ́wà my 12 I will ẹ dákẹ́ bá mi kó ata díẹ̀ sẹ́gbẹ̀ iye báyìí mo ti send us account màdé wa gbà. I will pick up myself.
You just go there to pick up. You say you bought everything already.
Nobody.
So you don't go around the market and start pricing. No.
This other woman will work in my favor. So the more we start to think critically about these relationships and how we can make it work for us, and that's really what this show is about. So let us make it work. We're going to break now, play a lovely nasheed. When we come back, more to come on The Other Woman. Stay with us.
When you feel and there's nobody you can turn to, just remember no matter where you are, for the moon and the stars, crazy mountain forward, yes and advance. Take hold of your iman, don't give in to shaitan. Oh, you will believe, please give thanks to Allah. Allahu Ghafoor, Allahu Raheem, Allahu Yuhibbul Muhsinin, wa Khaliqun wa Raziquna, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Allah is Ghafoor, Allah is Raheem, Allah is the one who loves the Muhsinin. He is our creator, He is our sustainer, and He is the one who has power over all. Give thanks to Allah for the moon and the stars, praise Him mountain forward, yes and advance. Take hold of your iman, don't give in to shaitan. Oh, you will believe, please give thanks to Allah. Allahu Ghafoor, Allahu Raheem, Allahu Yuhibbul Muhsinin, wa Khaliquna wa Raziquna, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Allah is Ghafoor, Allah is Raheem, Allah is the one who loves the Muhsinin. He is our creator, He is our sustainer, and He is the one who has power. Inshallah, oh yeah, so we can do this. So I was sitting at the top of a hill, I gazed up into the sky. So many beautiful things I could see, birds soaring high in the sky. Then my eyes caught a glimpse, I saw something from afar. Get with me, but I stood my feet. Now it seems it is coming here right to me. Oh, that it was inside my head saying, sit right there, don't rest yet. Asked the voice what I was to do, it said just give your praises to Allah, La ilallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, Ya Rabbana, Ilahuna, Faghfir lana, Ya Maulana, Salli ala Muhammadun Habibullah, Safiyullah. Problem shared is a problem solved. This is always what was said. Every night before you go to bed, imagine what if you woke up dead. Why don't you wipe your face? Think about where would be your place. Is it hell or heaven? Are you one or multiple? Come on, let's sharpen up. All the mess we've done, let's clean it up. just for eyes, and it allows me every day to make a smile. 'Cause you're the one you're the one that I want. You're the one I love just passes by. A flying giant butterfly. I think alone to have you by my side.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Lights Radio, and the topic we're still discussing is who is the other woman in your life. It can actually be your sister-in-law, your husband's colleague at work, your mother-in-law, your friend that you believe she's having an extramarital affair with your husband. So we're still discussing about that. You can also call us on 0809 Okay, please help me with that.
009-738-4000. Alternatively, 009-732-4000 is the number to call to be a part of the show. We have our other hosts joining us. Let me go to Hajia first. It's a lovely blend here. Hajia Zainab Salu.
Our co-host with us here is Zainab Salu.
I'm Zainab Salu. I'm going to talk about the other woman.
Who is this other woman? You're like, okay, I love what you were saying. You've been talking
about
the other woman.
Arayoiki. Than the other woman.
Yeah.
Like
you have been another woman. She is another woman. Express how to share with
us.
Well.
Anyhow, enjoy. Knock it off.
Silent.
Yeah.
Well. The other woman, I think I've experienced such in a way that up to today he used to call me, but I used to like ignore his call. Dalili kuma shine ina da aboki wanda yake mun fara tun muna yara. Yana da mata. Na san yana da mata. So he's my colleague right from primary school. To my surprise, sai matarsa ta wata dinga kira na tana zagi.
Sorry, what does that mean?
She doesn't mean the what she's saying.
A good friend.
I'm clueless, man.
Yes, he is my friend. And he has a kind of a little problem, Sham. So he called me when he used to call me, we used to chat, we talk, we discuss. His wife started threatening me. You want to snatch my husband?
That's exactly what we're talking about.
I was like, Mia Paru, what is it? Up to tomorrow. Sometimes if I even see him, I don't used to like if he
before the I
just
call
because I don't want problems.
Even with Salam.
Oh, Salam.
Walaikum salam.
She asked to reply to another side. Before his wife
I wouldn't want someone to pour acid
on you. But isn't that taking it so extreme? Isn't that thinking badly of the other woman?
That's what we're trying to do here. So this other women know that you are also somebody else's other woman. You've actually been the other woman in somebody else's life, or you are currently the other woman in somebody else's life. And so when I asked her who is the other woman to you off air, and she said and to about me no, because that's how everybody will think about it. Other woman. But you are somebody else's other woman. I'm this nice colleague at work, always looking out for my colleagues, but the wife thinks otherwise, that I'm having an affair with her husband, right? And so this sister also is somebody else.
So basically, this show is to cause trouble.
No, we're not causing trouble.
Show where we come to discuss about how we are causing trouble with people. Okay, now I understand. Okay, now I know how to. But I'm not causing trouble in somebody else's life.
My point exactly. That's what we need to make people.
We're trying to make other women understand that the other women assisting you or feeding your husband at work is not just trying to snatch your husband. She's
feeding somebody else's woman at work. Did she ask you?
Let me help you here, because
because I'm confused. Why are you helping her?
You actually said that
I came into that position to help her keep a healthy man so that she can continue to enjoy a healthy.
She's just doing innocently. Sister Aisha,
I'm sorry. I have to do something different from what you guys are saying. So it's going to be me playing devil's advocate here.
It's like you have another mind thinking that in off direction of off what we're actually saying.
Because I think that I'm always a person that feels like there are always two sides to the coin.
Yeah, indeed.
Situation. And I'm sure people are listening and wondering, okay, why are they discussing about the other woman? And
if you just joined us, this is The Other Woman, reaching live on Lights Radio, and you're listening to the undisputable voice of Aisha Adams, the popular celebrity Aisha Adams.
Inshallah.
Yeah. But for me, really, I think that as much as possible, we need to be positive minded in how we think about ourselves.
And that's what this show is about.
I get, and I think that, well, this is a fantastic show. That you even thought about it. I think these are conversations that are long overdue.
Absolutely.
When you see women together, there is almost always some energy, that you can't really put your finger to,
but it's negative.
It's negative.
It's draining.
But, on the surface, it looks so sweet, blowing kisses in the air and all of that. But
but behind that smiling face is
actually, and when they get back,
it's an aggressive mind.
Only hug me.
But this reminds me of something. It reminds me of a talk that I had recently, and I think that one thing I highlighted in the talk is I think that the major reason why a lot of us women tend to see other people as other women doesn't stem from them. It's a self problem, and the self problem comes from us having lack of love for ourselves. We don't love ourselves enough to see that we're amazing in and of ourselves. And so when we see other people showing up in the world in the way that we want to show up, but we cannot,
we can't adapt to that.
We then decide to either hate them, malign them,
exactly. Yes.
Gossip about them,
yes. Spot on,
or in totality just avoid them and label them as toxic.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so what we really need to
sister,
what we really need to do is go back to the drawing board and ask ourselves, because why do you really hate that person? You don't hate the person. You hate the fact that the person dares to do the things that you cannot do. But it's not that you cannot do it. It's that you are choosing not to embrace the fear. Step onto it and be courageous enough to show up in the world. It's that you are choosing to not make mistakes because you think that there is perfection somewhere. You think that she thinks herself as perfect, hence she's showing up.
So that's when the trouble starts. Because you see someone is perfect than you are, you start, your mind starts getting more read up.
Perfection a fallacy? Isn't it something that is non-existent in the life of this world? Isn't it?
Do you think there is anyone that is perfect?
No one is perfect. No one. That we're holy calling insana da'ifa. That we have created you weak. So the only thing that is perfect is Islam. There is no other thing that is perfect.
No.
Except faith. That's it. Halas. And so I think that first of all is that there isn't really an other woman. It's all in your head. And so perhaps this show, I hope that it will help people start to go back on the inward and take that inward journey to say, who am I at my core, and why am I seeing somebody else as the other woman? And is she really an other woman, or is she my sister?
You know the funniest part? There are some women that if you used to say hello to her husband, you say, how's your children, madam? Fine. She will start keeping malice, or she will throw in words
because she thinks you've overstepped your boundaries.
But actually, some men creates the mindset of other women in their wives' mind.
I said that
because the reason why I said so is because imagine you going out with your husband and your neighbor and his husband walks in as well or drives in and they're coming down. You've given birth to like 2 or 3. Once you give birth to a woman, don't come back to shape, they don't come back to normal. And they'll be like, look at you. You just drop one. See the way you are. Look at Mrs. Lagbaja. Look at that woman.
Mama,
she after 4, she's still looking set. So she's not comparing that. What does the woman have that I don't have? She has given birth. She even gave birth to 4. She gave birth to just 1 or 2. I've given birth to 4. Look at how good she is in shape. She's still in. Her figure is still set, but I don't understand where am I lacking? So men also tends to create that mindset of other women in their wives.
And so honestly, that's why we're here. Let's help each other. Let's start to see the positivity. Like I explained earlier, there was something I shared about me and how I'll tap into a relationship of the other woman. Come on. So there's somebody at work bringing food to my husband. I don't like kitchen. I don't like work. So she can wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock and do original pounded yam and egusi soup. Or bring home for me. Mother Jeton. Can I have a number? Sister me, Charlie, by Saturday, come and cook jollof rice and fried rice. Let me load my freezer. I will milk that relationship to my benefit. Not use her. I would pay her. I'll give her money to help. This person is there for this role. You
are trying to keep that. You said just now about the man.
Yes.
And again, sorry, but I beg to go in another direction.
No problem.
And it's that. Is it really the man that is making her feel a certain way?
Yes.
Or is it that she is feeling inadequate? That she's not hold on.
Okay.
That she's not working on herself. You see, the thing is that sometimes what it is that we women tend to lose ourselves when we get married, when we start to have children. We give ourselves excuses on why it is okay to look soapy. Soapy means like
to look shabby, to look down, not packaging.
You see a lady before she gets married, she's looking on point, she's on fleek all the time.
That's
what we saw. Then after you get him, we make men seem like fishes. Like once I catch the fish and the fish takes me home, then I'm done. And then you give birth. Yes, motherhood is challenging. And being a wife and managing all of that is very challenging.
Pursuing a career, still wanting to get on top of your career.
The work-life balance is crazy. That's the truth.
Almost impossible.
Yeah, all this thing where we feel, you have to always be on. But can you make some effort? Why would you look so nice when you're stepping out of the house, but
and when you're in there, you don't start tying
like
the
housemaid.
Exactly. Housemaid is even better because some housemaids dress different. You look like an old woman in your own home.
Are you okay? Because really, you see, the thing is that we say that the man is making her feel somehow. This is something I tell people. Nobody will make you feel a way that you were not already feeling.
He just
amplified. The man just brought to life what you were avoiding to take ownership of. That's it. And so you are angry at the fact that how dare you say it in my face? How dare you? That's really your anger. The anger. And sometimes what we need to do is take a step back and say, why did it hurt me so much? Is it because it was a truth that I was avoiding?
Yes.
Or is it because I am feeling a certain kind of way? And rather than look at what the person is saying, perhaps you can then take a journey inwards. It's so easy to hate people for everything that they say that touches our soft spot.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
Passing the buck is the easiest thing anyone can do. Somebody else is responsible for what that gone wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes the reason why you feel sore is because there was already an injury there
that you refuse to heal from.
That you did not heal from.
You didn't take care of it.
So perhaps, the man is doing something, but he's only doing something that you gave him the permission to do.
Absolutely.
So rather than, again, see the woman that he is praising as the other woman, what you then need to do is
that man will never tell you, this is your mistake. Yes.
You know your mistake, you know?
Some people made a mistake, but they don't...
No, like, Ika, you said it, I listened to the show before I stepped in. And you said something along the lines of, Ika, so it's not like she doesn't know. She knows. Tell her. Yes, but she doesn't want the person to tell her.
Yes, you continue misbehaving. And they'll be having problems.
That's why some men tend to abandon their wife at home.
You understand?
See how we're creating more problems, you see? And hopefully we pray that Allah blesses the Other Woman show to help reach out to these people and start to heal. So we are here to help you heal. If you bring to fore these things that you have been nursing and this other one you have been hating, not knowing that even you are somebody else's other woman, you've been tormenting somebody else's life, the earlier we connect and start to redress this, then the better for us. Because like I just said, we're going to be transferring this aggression to our children.
You see, that's
why you said that when two elephants are fighting,
mommy, I hate my dad. I was like,
Subhanallah.
Like in Shomo Ali. I call her mother. I said, caution her. This one, if your husband family get hear about this,
they'll think otherwise that the child is a bastard.
How can you just? Because he married another woman, second wife. She said, I don't like to see my daddy. I hate him. I
think our alter ego is our other woman.
So there's really no other woman in flesh. It's us that we have created that thing.
It's a creation. The other woman is a creation in your mind.
In your mind, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I believe you.
Wallahi, I like my husband to have so many wives.
I
love competition. I like challenges. Wallahi, I like it. Come.
Me, it's not even the challenge. It's
the helping hand.
Me, I'm not talking about helping her because I can work 24 hours.
Wow.
Is it not to wash, to clean up the house, to cook? So what is it?
But the house chores is much more than that. It's little chores in the body.
I like.
You don't like house chores, I guess.
No, I don't like house chores, but I do love it, but not to the extreme of me working myself out. I'll do it one step at a time.
You're speaking, Madam Zainab. Spot on, carry on.
So my husband house.
I like challenges. I like competition.
So when you see her walk out of the door with her, you said go carry three layers. Now so
okay.
One shot
is strapless touch.
My cook jollof rice.
Coconut rice. 5
grams. Like to me and cook, and she don't know how to make it. Go and get me better burger. You understand? Typical house man. My wife, thank you. You understand? You'll be happy.
You'll be happy. Honestly. His head is packing.
But no, I want to be alone with my husband.
No,
you are not a enough. Be sincere, Allah.
But you know that's what
people are listening to you. They do not like you already.
Not to be sincere. They will not like me, but they know. I'm telling the truth. It is. Yes, they say 4, 3, 2, 1. It's better for her to come in.
Katimora, yes, exactly. Than for me start fighting my husband with you outside every day.
Honestly, I totally agree with the thought of being sincere about this polygyny thing and stop deceiving ourselves.
Good.
Because really, I think it's about time that we stopped having this conversation of is he allowed to have more than one wife?
That's why
it's not a conversation. Are you kidding me?
That's why most women prefer to
having that as a conversation. Even for non-Muslims, how many non-Muslims are beginning to have more than one wife? Of course. I told them I was having a conversation with someone, and I think I don't think the person was Muslim. I think I said that. See, let's be realistic here. When you go to the hospital, you have more female child born on a daily basis than
Indeed.
So would you rather the guy commit adultery than he actually legitimately
there is another thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that was the main issue that we women are afraid of. To ba de ni si lo ma loko mi ma le mi gata. O ma kẹ́yìn sí mi kò ní jẹ́ kó rí mi kó ràn. And it's true. It is
because yes,
I have someone that is very close. The same thing long experience by to ba pe man. Auntie mi man. Shama àdúrà ni kó máa ṣe. Ṣebí kò tí ilé ẹ̀dá. Kò ní ilé ẹ lágbára Ọlọ́run. You understand? And the second woman was telling the husband that kó gbalé and the husband was saying mi ò lè fi ìyàwó mi àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ lẹ̀. Issue to law on ground so kí wá là ń sọ.
In fact, I did say that we'll address polygyny in subsequent episodes because there's a lot to talk about in this polygyny matter, inshallah. We will address it. But before then, like, this is real. We're not necessarily, we're not pushing it for another day. It's good that we've touched on it. It is real. It's happening. What is your biggest fear? What are you, like, I asked someone, when you and your husband are alone, your husband is in you know, you spend 8 hours in the house together and you've barely been together in the same space for 20 minutes.
You become strangers in your own home.
So what's your physical touch person and you like to be touched often, but
and
if you're not
touch often with children in the house, you're cooking, which are you touching? So let's be real. You know, let this thing work. It can work. We will work together. I'm not speaking for those nonsense people that come behind and say, what is your time, soon make I enter. No, sometimes yes, something like that. We will face them, inshallah. We'll address them when we come to that because they need to start to think of it could have been you. You know, she said it earlier.
Woman is yourself. Your alter ego is your first other woman, and I think that the moment you're able to counter that, and
all other things will go smoothly.
Even the issue of polygyny. Well, I'm not saying that some people are not diabolic. Oh my god. People are diabolic. Oh, let's forget the hijab. Yes.
I bet you go pante.
Subhanallah. People are very diabolic. Yeah? But having said that, if you're a person that understands that you are not really in a competition with anybody else, I think that you have less stress in thinking about other people as other women. And it will be the sky is big enough for us all to fly.
Why are you in a competition with other women? The only person you should be in a competition with is yourself. To be a better version of yourself. So why would you be in a competition with another woman fighting over husband? It doesn't make sense.
It's not,
your husband is someone else's husband.
Fighting over what? Over a man. Just watch your husband or your brother or anybody. If a man and the woman was like, sweetheart, you run you. Bullshit story. You will see like I will be looking. Imagine. Kí wá ló fẹ́ kún torí ẹ.
Honestly.
Kí ló fẹ́ kún torí ẹ.
Ayé náà máa fi lẹ́sí.
Ṣé ìwọ gan de ó ti dá jẹ tán?
That's what I'm trying to make people
know. It's okay.
Is there any man that knows that?
There are some men nature money. All is every day ni. She want to share every day. All I'm doing is carry the hospital. No, sincerely.
Oh, go hospital.
Don't kò bá ní mú wàhálà dání. Tí kò bá ní fún mi láti ẹjọ́ kó pa ọmọ mi.
Carry go.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wà. Like cousin me only mate. Do you believe that her mate tó bá fẹ́ mọ̀ pé ọkọ máa sùn yàrá ilé ló máa sùn alẹ́ ni morning afternoon ò lè mọ̀ wọ́n jọ ń dáná ni èmi ò mọ̀ bí kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀ àfi mọ̀ Hadiza wíyẹ̀ wáyé ìkẹ́ ẹ̀dẹ̀gìrìkì as in Hadiza ta ló ń dáná lé ni Zainabu because the other woman Zainabu bó ṣe lè mọ̀ yes and they live happily.
Mashallah.
That's because they tend to understand one another. They give room for love.
Wahala. So they say, no, God forbid, God forbid,
So let's take a peep into the minds and heads of this other wives that come in and decide that what is going on in them? Let me talk to you. What do you think is going on in such minds? And
again, inferiority complex. How many of us we have inferiority complex issues? See, when you see someone who is a bully, someone who is very caustic, like they are very toxic,
yes,
like they tend to be very
They sap your energy when they just citing them and your energy.
When you see people that are very negative in the way that they approach people, they put people down very easily. I swear, 90%. Sorry, did I say 90? I meant 99% of the time. They, in themselves, struggle with their own identity. They have inferiority complex. Go and study narcissistic syndrome. Go and study everybody that has a toxic character, from it being a mental health issue to being an artisanal issue. It stems from them not loving themselves. They self-loathe. So they project onto other people what is inside of them. And so they are looking for validation. They are looking for someone's energy to use as their own, because they don't have that good to give. And so they use you to shine. So it's a parasitic relationship. So many times those people, they are the ones in need of help. But you being there, and observe, they usually target people that they know are not going to fight back.
Yes.
Either someone that has class and poise and doesn't want to get dirty,
Exactly.
or someone that is smaller in size than them, or someone, they are always looking for someone that they feel that it's an easy prey. It's an easy prey. And the moment, all you need is for that person to stand up for themselves just once, and that's it.
Yes.
Commit suicide.
Yes. It's a self problem that they are projecting onto other people. And so rather than you allow them to put you down, you take the charge. As someone who has been bullied before and who would not, I can't stand bullies. And from understanding the way it works and the way their mind works, I realized that, oh my God, are you kidding me? So all along,
Are you kidding me?
I'll be like, hey. So I was giving power to this person
All along. Empowering them, because if you can't say in otoge then
yes.
They will
So
stumble
what
upon
is
you
really in
again.
their mind is that they have a messed up mind. They need therapy. They need therapy. They need help, but they are not willing to take ownership of it to say, I need help. And so they use of all of that energy in making the lives of other people miserable until those people call them out on their bullshit.
Interesting. We'd like to hear from you. Be a part of the show. The Other Woman. You can call us on 0809-738-4000. Alternatively, 0809-732-4000. Number to call and tell us what's going on in your life. Who are you the other woman to? And who is the other woman in your life, tormenting your life and making it miserable? You've heard it from all of us here. It's actually you. You are the other woman in your own life. Don't Jackie. Don't bend me. Shield. Take chill pills. Take it easy. Take it easy, sister. Life can be better. It can be a better place for every single one of us. So the other woman in your life is your sister-in-law, your mother-in-law, your husband's colleague at work, your husband's high school friend, your husband's childhood friend. They grew up together. They've been together for over 30 years, and because you became Mrs. Bolan, you want him to get rid of every single person that did in his life before. Come on. Be a part of the show. 0809-732-4000, 0809-738-4000. Drop us messages on our social media handles. We'll read out all your messages. Alright, so let's take a break. Play you Lovely Nasheed. When we come back, I love Zayn Bika. He's my all-time favorite. So this one is Woman I Love. My mom, my daughter, my sister. These are the women in your life. Let's play this Nasheed and we'll take your calls right after this break.
Just to know someday that cause you're the woman, you're the woman I know, you're the woman I know. Let You see my heart a little faster. We were learning together. You help me to now after all these years I look at you. My whole life is memories, and Allah allows me every day to close. 'Cause you're the woman I love. You're the woman I love. You're the woman life just passes by. A fragile butterfly. I think I'll learn to have you by my side. How can I describe my from the moment of the first you stole my heart. There's nothing about you. And I was sitting by you, just spread your wings, but you always be and I pray Allah will keep me by your side. You're the woman I love. You're the woman I love. You're the woman I love. 'Cause life was passes by. You are my fragile butterfly. I think I'll learn to have you by my side. The greatest blessing that I have, I know in my life.
Subhanallah, alhamdulillah. I hope you enjoyed that from Zaindika, the woman I love. I love all the women in my life. I love all the women in my life from my husband's side as well. You can hear that laughter. I love all the women that I've met in my life, subhanAllah. There's been one lesson or the other, but I always learn to see the positive side of every relationship. I try to make, no matter how sour it looks, I try to see the good in it. Believe it or not, I've been entangled in a 4 women marriage to 1 man, so I can tell you for free. When I talk about polygyny, I'm not going to be talking as a textbook expert. I'm talking as a live experience. Subhanallah. But anyways, that's not what we're discussing today. It's not about polygyny. It's about that other woman. You can be a part of this show. It is 0097324,000 or 0097384,000 number to call to be a part of the show. Tell us who you are and in what instances have you been the other one? Like when you had Haja Zainab, she's been somebody. She
said she liked challenges.
No, she's been the other
one. Oh, okay, yeah.
I almost served her head on the plate. So in the studio, I have Aisha Adams, the almighty Aisha Adams, the Bogboni Shea Aisha Adams. We have Haja Zainab Soliu, of course Nafisa is here. Salahuddin Sahid. I beg your pardon, Nafisa Said, and me, your whole tiny voice on the radio, Amina Adams. We are having a good time here. Is the other woman. We're going to be discussing everything that has to do with women on earth. just to dispel that notion. You know, every time you've heard the other woman, it stirs up negative emotions in you because you are seeing someone that you want to strangle. You are seeing someone that you need to send to an early grave because she's making your life miserable. Guess what? You've heard it from everybody except my expert Aisha. You are the other woman that has been tormenting yourself. It's your ego. Deal with it and everything else will be easy. Yes. Let me come to Hadia Zainab. You were saying, excuse me, you were saying something offline. No, so it's about other women that you've encountered, you know, other mates, and how we can make the relationships blossom or not. You know, it's about how you deal with each other. I know she also contributed to the fact that there's something you said when she's about when the husband won't even see diabolical, like it's for real. They are diabolical people, and it's not written on the forehead.
It's not written.
Nafisa also shared that experience. Say it and no Lord Latin, but talk with you talk before we came on air. That's instead of that sister. So it's not about the hijab.
That sister that
the hijab is a piece of
okay. The video I actually watched, it's about all these comedy pranks, and a guy walked up to an hijab sister. So definitely hijab is just now in this era, the 21st era. Yes, it's not supposed to be just a piece of clothes, but yes, because in the olden days, mothers then they value hijab. Hijab is a well-respected piece. Yes. That when you see a woman or a lady, even a young child, a female young child walking up, putting on hijab, she will be respected.
Yes,
exactly. But this 21st century, it's just a piece of clothes dangling on your head just to cover your hair.
Yes, yes.
So this lady, she was actually passing by a road, a commercial road, actually, not even a private like the estates and every other thing, a commercial road, and the guy walked up to her. He was saying hello, normal greetings. We're actually playing a prank. Can you pull your pants off for 20,000 naira? And the lady was like, are you for real? The man said he was not joking, that this is the money. He had to show the lady the money. The lady was okay for 20,000 naira. I hope you're not taking my pants away. No, I'll give it back to you. It's your pants. The lady had to pull the pants publicly. Motorcycle were passing about, people were passing, they were watching, but she cared less. She had to pull the pants. When she pulled it,
that's disgusting.
very, very disgusting. And if you see this lady, she's putting on all these terracotta kimor.
Honestly, this is I think this is an opportunity for us to call ourselves out and say that, you know what, understand what it is to wear the hijab. First of all, understand what it is to be decent. This is not about hijab. It's just about being a decent human being.
Honestly,
you know. Just understand what it is to be decent. Then remember that every time you step out on the hijab, you are an ambassador for Islam.
Sure.
And you are representing us, and the way you show up in the world, it matters, because the way you show up is going to affect so many other people.
If you corrupt so many mindset that this is what they actually do. They don't have value. They don't have value.
So why are you covering your head? But then you are not decent enough to cover. Oh gosh, this is disgusting.
So the guy actually put on gloves to collect the pants, showing it to the camera. He paid the lady and returned the pants. The lady was about going. He now had to point to the camera. The camera captured everything. So she was so embarrassed. She couldn't even look back to the camera or look the guy. She had to walk away with her head down, which is not supposed to be.
So
with that, how does she present Islam to the world? Because it's actually a video that was posted on Facebook, and imagine where the countries where people use Facebook. So the video has gone viral and wild. So you can imagine the shame she brought on herself. Don't let me say Islam.
On herself,
it's on herself, not Islam, because there are so many videos on Facebook, on social media that portrays Islam as religion of peace that it is. So people that has a good mindset.
You know what that has done? Think back at Tunlag days. Tejo Show Market is a place where people are harassed and molested.
Yes, consistently.
People will come to my room to borrow the hijab. I wasn't even wearing the hijab in Unilag, but I used it to pray. They will come and borrow my hijabs to wear to the market because the people in hijab are not harassed or molested. They don't even touch Alaja. And Alaja don't touch them. You know all these curtain sellers, they're pulling you. These they're pulling in front of you and hitting your bum and all that. They don't touch people in hijab. And so this was what they saw. This was just how many years ago? But now look at that. What she has done, the implication of that action on other innocent
Muslim man,
it's this thing about being woke, everybody is forming woke, everybody is forming, like I told someone, I said, with all due respect, if someone tells you you're a funky alaja, you should know that's an insult.
It's an absolutely.
No, like funky and
alaja,
I'm not saying that you cannot be nicely dressed, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that within the confines of what is respectable. No, but funky alaja is an insult. It's just telling you are a confused human being. Ho-ha. Khalas. That's what it is. If you're kidding yourself that you are hyped, they're telling you that you're a confused human being. Get your act straight. Let's stop. And this is not being judgmental. This is just laying the facts on the table. This is just saying that be who you are at the time, in the space. Where you are. Give yourself the permission to grow, not at other people's pace. Absolutely. But at the pace that works for you, that helps you show up in the world as authentically you. And that goes back to what I was saying about the rectification is actually. Stop this one, thing. You threw a stone at me. No many times I was cross one like, don't joke with that live on real, so could about me. All I'm saying is that we should embrace being authentically ourselves.
Sure.
And when we start to do that, we will not see anybody as being the other woman. Because our alter ego is really the other woman. It's when we start to feel insecure in ourselves that we are now in women's circles or female circles, and we start to have this negative energy towards ourselves. You're not self-assured. You are not comfortable with yourself. You feel, you don't understand, you appear like you are looking good. That's why someone will be wearing nets and then she'll see me covered up and she'll think she's better than me. I don't feel any certain kind of way when I'm in any space. I feel very happy and content with who I am, because I am comfortable in my skin and I'm not being forced to do anything. I'm unapologetic about myself, about how I'm showing up in the world. Tell them. You understand? But you are looking at me and you're looking down at me because you think on my behalf. Because you think that are you comfortable with this? Why would you just dress like this? Do you understand? And again, see, it goes back to you, the person. So the first job we need to do to stop this idea that there's an other woman is to work on our self-image, work on our relationship with ourselves, discover who we really are at our core.
And we should work on our self-esteem.
Yes. When you start to discover yourself and you start to fall in love with yourself, your self-esteem level rises.
Yes.
But the thing is that many people are not willing to go on that journey to find out who they really are. Because it's scary. Yeah, it's a scary journey. Very. Because you will second guess yourself several times. You will doubt you're taking the right steps several times. You'll want to run back a lot of times. Let's take this to the next. So let's backtrack a bit and talk about something that had grown with us. This is how we've lived our lives up to a certain point. When do you decide that it's time to start discovering myself? What's the trigger point that will make me know that this other woman that I have been seeing as the other woman, I need to fix this problem? When does this problem come to fall? What would be the trigger point that will do this for you? And I like to use myself as an example and put myself. Yeah, Kurami sister. I had younger sisters. She's my sister, and I had there's someone between us. And in so I said Funky Alaja. Oh, joke time me. I was called Funky Alaja because I wore jeans and I would use turbans. Wear rose. Again, this is not to say that those who are wearing turbans are doing. We're not just stoning anybody. We're not judging you. We're not judging you for who you are. That's saying just try to improve on yourself. Me, I was under pressure because I was the eldest sister, and my middle younger sister was doing jilbab already, and then the one after her, Aisha, went
a notch higher, and there I was still doing tight jeans,
Turban.
face cap, bowler hats, and being that. And so, but I'll never take my cap off in public, you know. In fact, I remember one guy, he did that in class, and all hell was let loose. To them, it was Oloko your face cap, Lore. To me, I was stripped naked. I couldn't move. I was fixed in that spot because I felt I was nude. I was naked, you know, and that carried on. So I was in between two worlds. I was still being me. Alajotani me. You know, then you know, I was out there, but I was also. I'm from a Muslim background, a humble Muslim background. This is my younger sister, and they're using her to judge me. She brought what example I setting for her. So I became a split personality, and I carried on like that. And it was an event that struck a chord with me that made me to then realize, you have seen the verse on the hijab several times. You chose to disobey that verse. You chose not to wear the hijab. This is your choice. Nobody is deciding for you. Somebody younger than you wants to do it, obey her Lord. You know, what is the challenge? What's the problem? If you both appear before your Lord now, what will be your fate? And so I made a conscious effort myself to don the hijab and pray to Allah to help me keep it on. Of course, challenges came. They came. You know, it's when you decide to be right, no matter from left, right, center.
Exactly. Yes. When you're trying to do something right, that's when you see people that will bad mouth.
I'm trying to test you. Is this you doing it for my sake, or
you just doing it for the sake of people are saying?
Did Allah not tell us that الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم
أيكم أحسن عملا?
He already told us. He said that we have created death and life to test who is best in it. So when you pick up the hijab, anybody can claim that they believe in God. Anybody, when things are good. But then the test of true faith comes when the difficulties come.
When we are coming,
and then Nabi Sam told us that, you know, he will test based on how closer you are to Allah. So the closer you are to Allah, the more
intense.
Yes. When we are coming this morning, we are neighbors. Then one old mountain. I was to be lying when I was like, Ahmed, this woman is a Muslim. I'm more you, and it's true. If you see the woman, I don't know. She looked like Sele. You understand? But she said, I was with lamination, and I was like, all her back open. She would just wear. Oh, the woman was very old. I was like, maybe she's a, you know, sorry. No,
you're back. Our only mosquito net.
Exactly. That is.
I don't give you a tea one. Anyway, so fast forward to, you know, once it's key for you to understand why you're doing it. Fast forward to when the challenges came. Lojo Pali, what they, challenge day.
Yes, they giddy.
And I was this close to backsliding. But alhamdulillah, for family that mattered, that we're going to, I mean, by hook or by crook, and they saved me from taking off the hijab, and I made a covenant by Allah.
Yes.
And that was it. So many years down the line, and everything became rosy and good, and then the challenge came for me to upgrade myself in my deen. Because see, this deen journey is an up and down journey.
Yes.
You keep going back and forth, up and down. So you need to be with the people that will keep putting. What first Jabo say, it's okay. That's why you need to start checking your circle. Who they your side? Who they your lane? Check your cycle.
Of course.
Change them.
Just psychologists say that you are the result of the 5 people that you are most around.
SubhanAllah.
And you actually evidently see this in your growth. When you're around people that are very positive, you don't have a choice. You just turn up and in fact there was a research that was done, and what they did was that they tested people's IQ, and they then split them. So there was the room of people that had a higher IQ and people that had lower IQ, and then to test this hypothesis of the people they are around, they then mixed them up and put them all in the same room for a couple of hours, and then they went back and did the check again, and they found out that everybody was now on the same level. The thing is that when you're around people that even when you are not there yet, somehow you cannot see people using their hand. They're using fork to eat, and then you say, no, it's your leg you want to use. Are you okay? I'm bad, no,
They
succeeded. You'll find that even if you are not posh, you'll be like, no, I think
you must learn to. You must try to use that fork and spoon to. You must learn.
You fall in line. Fall in line straight up.
Do you understand? And the company we keep is always very important.
Yes.
Because when you are with people that are progressives, somehow you just find yourself.
You just find yourself moving forward.
Show me your friends.
And I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Spot on. This is àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbà láti fọwọ́ rántí sẹ́yìn òun ló ń bá wa òun ló ń tì wá sí ta wà nísìnyí àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbà yẹn ṣe kókó. Those things are for real. Those adages, they are not old. It's fresh. The earlier we know this, the better, for us. So when those challenges came, because I connected with the hijab from the depth of my heart, I gave up.
You understood your why.
All the W's were answered. Right? I easily walked away from a job when it was time to upgrade my deen, move to the next level. When I was at the point, I was somewhere where I could sit with people drinking alcohol. Now I abhor it so much, I can't stand it. I could sit with them then because I didn't understand. But when I knew the import,
We have a call. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello? What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Abdul.
Alright. What do you have to say about what's your other woman?
It's interesting that it's a man calling. So
honestly,
who's the other woman in your life? Tormenting other women in your life. Who are the other women tormenting each other in your life?
Okay. My question is, how do you prepare your wife for the other woman? Because there's actually another woman in you.
Okay, if I should get you right, your question is, how do you prefer your wife to your other woman?
How do you prepare your wife?
Prepare your wife.
So
okay.
the other woman, the real woman that is coming in flesh and blood. Gotcha. Alright.
We will treat your question. Thank you very much for calling.
So I think Aisha will get on.
I knew you were going to. Why am I supposed to be the one to build the car?
Now you they're supposed to be the one to treat the question
for us. Block for road, not be me. You say don't block me. You big pass me.
How do you prepare the other woman?
Yeah. How do you prepare your wife for the other woman in your life?
So this other woman is real. The other woman,
the other woman as in.
The second wife is coming in.
Honestly, I think that the first thing is, I don't know, what's the first thing?
So let me tell you,
the first thing is to pray.
Actually, before then, I would have to say that your wife, you know how.
Prayer. So honestly, Allah is the Muqallib al-Qulub. The day that I came to this realization, because you see, sometimes we hear some things and we think we really understand it, but we don't.
Yes.
Somewhere in our minds, let's be honest, when someone tells you, oh, go and talk to this person, you just go with this thing like, bad go. Like, oh, I can solve it.
You can solve it.
Then sometimes you get there and
you make different things.
They'll just slap you left, right. You just go, you tuck your tail in between your legs and you leave there in shame. But what if the first thing we do is to ask Allah?
No.
So that's the first thing I would advise him to do. To make dua, sincere dua to Allah. To speak to his wife's heart. Because Allah is the Muqallib al-Qulub.
No, he's the turner of hearts. He's the one that will turn the hearts to listen to you.
And then the second thing would be that to actually talk to his wife. It's a very hard conversation to have, especially because women are very territorial people, and we always feel like, oh, she's infringing on my territory and all of that. And so he needs to speak to his wife and help her understand that, understand that this is not out of spite or because I love you less and
or you are inadequate. This is not. That's the first thing that happens to women. Once you hear there's another,
you
one
feel like you're not doing well enough.
Yes, I'm not enough.
So it's not about you not being enough. It's just that I just the way we like it might seem like an insensitive excuse, but you know, women too, we want more children. You want to eat rice today, tomorrow you want to eat beans. Like sometimes you have variety of things that you want, and this is not to say that she's rice or the other woman is beans or the other woman is spaghetti. It's just to say that I like this other woman as well, and I have the capability to care for these two women, and I will just really appreciate if you can support me so that I do not fall into error, because marriage is about ta'awanu 'ala al-birri wa taqwa. That is, we are supporting one another towards piety and righteousness and growing in faith. And then the third thing would be that perhaps you should speak to people that she respects, who can speak to them and try to reason with them and help them understand what it is. Again, remember, prayer. Prayer about all of those people he's going to speak to. Prayer about it. And
while praying, he needs to stay sincere. You know, the thing is, sometimes I think he should ask himself, why am I doing this? What am I doing it for? Because those questions, they help. Sometimes he doesn't even know. I say that on top fair, regret it. Because you really it was just a tiny need that you could have addressed easily had you discussed with people of knowledge, people of wisdom, or even run this by your wife. You know, it could have helped. So don't jump. Be sincere with yourself and ask yourself critically, why am I in this for the long haul, or am I just doing a temporary fixing a temporary problem?
What I think is the moment you get married to your first wife, when you're having, even before you start to have any children, just be telling her that tell them about you. Let her mind so that
then I think that another thing is that I recommend, I'm not saying that this is cast in stones, but I usually recommend that when a man is bringing in another wife, that he shouldn't put them in the same house, especially for the beginning part of the marriage. I think that what this does is that it gives both women the opportunity to breathe. The one coming in is wary too. She's worried. She has her own fears.
So she doesn't need to walk on eggshells.
She doesn't need to walk on eggshells. So actually bond with her husband. Marriage is tough enough. Let's not complicate it. Let's not overcomplicate it. So that's another thing I would recommend, that you don't live in the same house with them, and you as the man, you stay balanced. You know, a lot of the time the challenge actually comes from the men and their inability to keep the business of house A in house A and the business of house B in house B.
Yes.
There is no reason why you must force wife A to come and
visit and relate.
What is all this? What is all that? It's just causing unnecessary wahala.
Yes.
Tension,
and unfortunately,
pressure.
many times you think that you're trying to make them come together. Let things
happen naturally.
You know, let the first wife get through the challenge of
I'm not sharing you,
my husband,
and let the second wife get through the challenge of, oh my God, I'm not alone. It is challenging for both of them. You are the one that seems to be enjoying the best of both worlds, and because they both can't see that, you need to be the one to be like the Agba in the situation.
Something that I'd like to add to this point, and that's where this guy's getting wrong. So you cannot marry your first wife from a Mushin type background, marry a second wife from a Banana Island background, and expect a perfect blend. How? How?
No matter how they
put them under the same roof. This Banana Island wife is used to exotic kind of cars. What is basic to her? You know, buying paying 60k for a meal, paying 60k 70k for a meal is a no-brainer. They do this every other weekend as a family. They go out as a family, and then you want to bring her to a level of, or comparing her, or when you provide that for her, the other wife sees it naturally. 60,000 naira. No,
and women are very jealous.
So let's be
then
real.
from there you be hearing Werema Shele.
Yes.
When you marry the first one from Mushi area and the second one from Banana Highland.
You know better in terms of this balance and in being fair and being just. You need to be more realistic. This is somebody that is used to vacations. She's out of the country every single year. Sometimes
I think
twice
another
a year.
thing is that you need to be honest with your wives. Honesty in terms of how many men are married to women who, the women, it might even be the second wife that is funding the whole household.
Actually, I have something to say to that.
But because she's a humble person, nobody gets to know about
Nobody gets to know.
Yeah.
Then you still, you still make her life
miserable.
You make it sound like you did her a favor.
Yes.
Please
Because
don't
of
do that.
circumstances.
Do you actually know?
Don't do that.
I read on Facebook an Ijabite, a married woman, seeking advice that she's married and her husband, she's the one taking responsibility for every fee in that house, both the house rent, the school fees,
So picking up the tabs.
honestly. So this husband, they both have kids. You went ahead, you're not the one doing the responsibility, you went ahead and bring in a second wife pregnant. So this first wife was not like, okay, since you brought in second wife, you're capable.
Yes.
So everything I'm doing, I have to cut it short. I have to face my children. Anytime I see you, you're welcome. And anytime you don't come, my children are there to pacify me. So everything she was doing, she stopped it.
But there are times when it is the second wife that is even the one providing this.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Many other cases, like this Banana Island situation she's giving us.
do you know what the husband said? Everything the first wife was doing, she cut it aside from her children's school fees. She paid for it and faced her children, feed them. The husband was not like, is that how our mother Khadija did it with Anabi? See the comparison, please.
Subhanallah, we are out of time. We're literally going to be kicked out any moment now. It's been a splendid time on the show today. Yes, The Other Woman will be on every Saturday from 10 a.m. till 12 noon, inshallah ta'ala. And we will try our best possible to address issues that pain you the most. So feel free to interact with us on our social media handles. On Instagram, we are lights_radio. On Twitter, we are the Lights Radio. Don't forget the Lights has an S, the Lights Radio. On Facebook, it's Lights Radio. Drop your questions, drop your comments. We will pull it all together and respond to you when next we meet.
And you can also write us an email at official.lightsradio@gmail.com. We'll definitely get your questions, your answer, your advice on all social media handles. You can also reach out to us on Radio Garden at Lights Radio. Don't forget the Lights has S at the back. Lights Radio. Fún ẹ̀yin tó jẹ́ elédè tiwantiwa nílé, ẹ má gbàgbé láti lè àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ sí wa lórí Gmail wa official.lightsradio@gmail.com. ẹ dẹ̀ lè máa rí wa gbọ́ lórí Radio Garden. Ẹ ṣe àkọ́bá wa Lights Radio ìmọ́lẹ̀ kẹwàá fi S sẹ́yìn Lights Radio. ẹ lè tẹ̀lé wa lórí Instagram lights_radio, Twitter the Lights Radio, Facebook Lights Radio, lórí YouTube Lights Radio. ẹ dẹ̀ lè pọ̀ wá sórí 0809-738-4000. And pẹ̀pẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò àbọ̀kẹ́ tó lọ, I want Sister Aisha to answer that question that I showed.
Muna na akan Lights Radio. Kuna iya neman mu akan YouTube Lights Radio. A Lights din wannan shine haske. Haske za ku sa S Lights Radio. Akan Facebook kuna iya samun mu akan Lights Radio shi ma. Akan Twitter za ku iya samun The Lights Radio. Instagram shi ma za ku same mu akan Lights Radio. Akan Gmail din mu kuma za ku same mu akan official.lightsradio@gmail.com.
Please, thank you very much. Okay, so what question did you want me to respond to?
What I said about the first one not taking responsibility since the man is capable of marrying second wife.
Honestly, I don't.
Because he was comparing that how our mother Khadija did it.
Well,
Imagine.
at the time when Nabi Sasa married Khadija Radiallahu, we
was
don't
the
know
only
him
wife.
to have married another wife. He was
the only
alone with
wife.
her.
Yes.
She was the only wife.
think
I think that
after
what
her
they keep
death.
doing.
Because I'm not fond of comparing our women now to her mother Khadija.
The reason why he probably said that was because we hear that the Nabi Sassam was in charge of her wealth, but the Nabi Sassam was not as funny and sketchy as a lot of the men that we have out there. They're when I say sketchy, I mean that they will take from Paul to pay Peter and make sure that Paul does not take anything, and that. So we are not.
We'll be there forever.
I think that the man should be more reasonable. I think that's what it is. The man should be more reasonable.
Inshallah ta'ala, we'll be back same time next week, Saturday. Time to clock in. It's 10 a.m. We'll be here, take this right together till 12 noon. Until then, please love one another. Deal with this, your alter ego, and the rest of it will be a smooth sail journey. Let's meet up next Saturday, 10 a.m. My name is Amina Adams, and this is it from us in the studio. On behalf of every single one of us, we say thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Stay blessed.
Thank you for having us.
What you know defines your depth, vision, understanding, and mentality. Light Radio is live on YouTube at Light Radio, on Facebook at Light Radio, on Light Radio on Instagram at Light_Radio, and Twitter at Light Radio. Agent Light, a precept strongly upheld by Light Radio. Impact sound knowledge around the clock, from Lagos, Nigeria to the world. Light Radio, your source for knowledge. Light Radio, love today. Light Radio, love today.